Myself as a business, Taylor Arnold. The first things I want to do when I come out of drama school to keep up with my survival as an actor is keeping up with my hour routine and keeping up with my skills, keep updating my blog, checking my website and looking at my casting. Knowing who I am as an actor is going to help me get the best roles. I'm also going to be searching through different theatres and looking at plays, seeing if they've been cast yet, and emailing them theatres directly and going up for auditions, and also just keeping myself surrounded with actors and people in the industry to keep up with the work. In terms of following a routine, I would start with making a structured timetable, and firstly what I do is find what I'm doing when I leave drama school as my bread and butter job. So this may be working in a cafe or a bar, so I'd have to keep updating this timetable. The timetable would include maybe going to movement classes or voice classes and the theatre. Even I would put in this timetable meeting up with an old friend from drama school, maybe who's working at the moment, speak to them, so just keep networking with who I need to be around. In terms of movement stuff, I know there's my teachers go to a lot of movement workshops in Manchester, which I'd be interested in, and you know, because I am at drama school every day at 8:30 in the morning, I'm limbering up for the day. If I was to stop that, it's going to be a major problem when I come out and then say I get a job 6 months later, let's say, and you could just hear that my resonance and my articulation wasn't on top of it. So I think the first thing I do is make sure I'm doing a vocal warm-up every day, and then filling in my times of going to the theatre, friends, and also a lot I try to do is keep up with my sports and going to the gym. I go to the gym a little bit now, and I just think it's really important to do this as an actor, because it keeps you mentally and physically, prepared. Throughout our context lessons, we spoke with Tom Sidney, and he talked about every week or every 2 weeks he went through his little mini business meeting with himself. So what he did here was sit down in front of his laptop and went through emails, seeing if there was casting directors emailing him and sending out his emails to directors just to keep himself busy with work and just organising different things with different people. He said he does this quite regularly, so he's just very much on top of his work. He says that organisation is key, and I think that's a really good thing to have as an actor. Another thing I'm going to do is make sure that I am well equipped with all my skills. So I've recently just started snowboarding. I'm going to keep that up, going to the Chill Factor in Manchester, going on snowboarding trips. Also, I horse ride, so that's another thing I'd be keeping up with. It's just all my little skills that make me different as an actor. I mean, I can't play a musical instrument, but I'm quite sporty, so I feel like that is my unique selling point. There's horse riding. I also play a lot of netball, which I go to weekly, so I think as soon as I leave, it's not just to stop my activities, it's to carry on, because having that unique identifying selling point is something that can make you different. Say if there was, a part in a play or a film, say, or an advert where you needed to snowboard or horse ride, having that on my CV is going to make me stand out as a top competitor for the role. So I'm always trying to push myself to try new things and learn new things. I'm going to start surfing this summer, just so it's another thing I can put on just to make myself unique. In lessons with Tom Sidney and throughout my time at drama school, I've been told I've got quite a young look. I mean, I'm only 19 years old, but I've been told I could play to maybe 15, 16, up to maybe 21. I think this I'm going to use to my advantage. So when going to get my headshots done, I'm asking for more younger, more fresh, more chirpier, youthful looks, because I feel I can really sell the youth in me. With directors also wanting to cast things, I think they're going to be looking for people who look warm, open, friendly, fresh-faced, and I think with my headshots being that, I feel like I could, have myself at an advantage for different roles. Knowing who I am and where I come from, I think is really key as an actor. I went to a drama school in Chester before Aura, and in Chester there's just been built the Story House. I've looked at the artistic director there, Alex Clifton, and he actually went to school in Christleton, a school close to mine. So I think establishing connections and common ground is something that's going to help you get work if you can have some sort of acknowledgement. Recently, I've been looking at spotlight articles on tips and tricks on how to survive in the industry. I came across an article, and it's an actor's guide to the misconceptions about acting. This was written by Katie Redford, and she said that being an actor isn't just about performing, it's about learning how to cope when you're not performing. And I feel that speaks so much truth, because a lot of the time you won't be in work, you're not going to be doing things. So having this kind of plan of action of what you're going to do when you leave drama school, I think's the best way to go forward. Like I said, with the routine, knowing your headshots, all these things, what's going to help you when you're in the industry. I also feel something that's really helpful to do when you come out of drama school, even when you're still in drama school at the moment. I watch a lot of motivational speeches, and I listen to on YouTube a lot of acting practitioners talking about the craft and how they approach things. This keeps me really indulged in the art and makes me want to learn more, and especially if you just listen to a motivational speech every day, if it's a podcast or a video on YouTube, it's stuff like that that really makes you constantly be thinking and keep focused. So I definitely think when I am out of drama school that I will carry on listening to these, because I think they really help me. Another thing that is really great to do is keep up with your reading. I have read this book loads. It's Patsy Rodenberg's Presence book. This is probably one of my favourite acting books, and just also it's a great life book. It applies in life so much. She talks about here, great athletes win with presence. Every great sporting success is one of being present, and every failure involves some momentary lack of presence. So when I go out into the industry, this is telling me that I should just stay present, stay focused, stay in that moment. Because, as she says, if you just lose that presence for a second, if you're not in that world, it's failure. So this is the thing that I'm going to take this is the thing that I'm going to, be doing when I leave drama school. After I leave drama school, I'd quite like to base myself up in the north, around Manchester or Liverpool or even Chester. I just feel that I'm really comfortable here. One of the reasons why I chose Alra North was because it just felt really down to earth and really friendly and warm. I can just see myself living up in the north and doing lots of work in the north. So that's where I think I'll base myself. And also, in terms of finances, it's so much more cheaper than London, which is something you do have to take into account when you are starting out as a new young actor. Another thing we've also spoken about in our context lessons with Tom Sidney is about how to write a letter to directors or casting agents. So I've just found from that and listening to what he has to say about it is just to keep everything short and simple and very well laid out. If you have a connection, maybe you're from the same area or you've done some work with them before, maybe just drop that in there just to establish a connection. So I think it's just about keeping everything structured, very professional, laying it out in 3 simple paragraphs and being very direct. With my website as well, I'm trying to keep this very simple, clean, direct. So when directors and people who maybe want to employ me see this website, they just think, right, this is easy to look at, it's easy to follow, it's not cluttered, it looks very smart and professional. Another thing we spoke about in our context lessons was on our websites actually having a blog and just keeping that up to date with new things that you're doing and trying. So it's not like you have a skill that is completely tip top and you can do it easily. This is stuff that you're learning, and because obviously we're only young, it just shows. I'm only 19. It shows that I'm trying to better myself and challenge myself with new things, but it doesn't mean that the skill is quite there yet.